limitations and reach their ultimate potential. He's not just a coach, he's a founding member of the International Association of Coaching and the visionary behind 7 Stage Advisors, the world's farthest reaching mentoring organization. Carl's journey has taken him to 68 countries, where he shared stages with legends like Tony Robbins, Barbara Corcoran, and Jim Johnson. You've seen him featured on Fox, ABC, NBC, CBS, Forbes, The Wall Street Journal, and many other notable publications. But Carl's true passion, transforming businesses, supporting entrepreneurs like you to move from surviving to thriving faster than you thought possible. So whether you're stuck in a rut or ready to scale beyond your wildest dreams, it's time to connect with a proven expert who can guide you to your next level. Visit Carl360.com and start your business transformation today.
I was booked out 18 months. I was booked for the year, and I had bookings for the following year.
All right. Sounds good. Marvel, everybody.
I guess that was my cue. All right. Thanks so much. All right. Good morning, everyone. Oh my God. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
All right. Awesome. So thank you for having me. In a past life, I had a couple of construction companies, and I was a vendor to private utility companies and small municipal utility companies. My office in Butler, New Jersey has their own utility company, and I love it. We about a decade ago, we got hit with the worst storm ever in New Jersey, and most of the state was out of power for 2 weeks. Butler, New Jersey was down for an hour. So I really came to appreciate, right, you guys know, like they were on it. I said to the family, I'm like, listen, we're camping out at the office. Let's go down there now because power's already back on, and we didn't have power for 2 weeks at our home. So really love the opportunity to come and speak to you all. We are in interesting times, and there's a real void of leadership right now. And what we need are people who can communicate, who can influence, and it's no longer enough to just do your job. Right? And so today's topic is how to become a master of rapport and influence. And what we're going to do today is we're going to understand what are the 3 communication styles and how do we best use them in our jobs and in our positions. So we have, according to Ben, this session will be about 6.5 hours. About 6.5 hours. Phase 1 of the No, we're kidding. We'll be just about an hour or so. As we go through the presentation, I'm going to introduce a few topics. You'll notice there's a QR code on there. There's a few deep dive videos if any of you are interested in learning more. It's an autoresponder, so it'll just come right to you. So if you want to hit the QR code, by all means, go for it, and you'll see that probably a couple times on the slides. And so just my quick and dirty resume. I went to college for accounting and finance. At the University of Delaware, and broke my leg pretty badly in my second year, and I had to leave school. So I started what was the first of 2 construction companies. This is my 40th year in business this year. I started when I was 18 years old, and like I said, I had an opportunity to work with you folks over the years, and so I went from studying accounting and finance to being kind of pushed out into the real world, and then having to make my way. And this is one of the earlier trainings that I took, and I was really blown away by the results. I was very skeptical, and so I will pose the same challenge to you this morning that was posed to me when I went through this training, because I thought it was totally BS. Right? Now I'm from New Jersey. When I say BS up there, you know what I mean down here? Okay, just want to make sure. I speak a version of English. It's not yours, and now and again it'll overlap. So I'll do my best to clean up my clean up my language. But the challenge is I'm not asking you to accept anything that I'm going to say today is true. But what we're going to do is we're going to demonstrate everything that we talk about. And all I would ask you to do is to judge by results. In other words, if it seems to be working, we keep going. If it doesn't seem to work, then you don't need to do it. Is that fair enough? Okay? So for some of you, that was not a fair deal. So is that fair enough? Yes. Okay, cool. All right. Oh, I get it. This is the morning keynote. Coffee hasn't kicked in quite yet. Breakfast buffet was good. All right? And I were you I know you were told about my session. Were you warned about my session? You were not. Okay. All right. So I got it, Ben. I'll do it. I'll do it for you. All right. So in order for you to consume the information I'm about to give you, the energy level of this room needs to be at least a 10 on a scale of 1 to 10. What would you say the energy level of the room is right now? That's what I thought. Somewhere lower than a 10. Okay. All right. So I'll give you a quick tool that you can use to go from wherever you are, pre or post coffee, all the way, or pre or post caffeine, all the way to a 10 in one shot. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to turn to your neighbor, and that would require you to actually turn to your neighbor. So you need to turn to your neighbor. You're going to give them a high five. All right, but wait for it. Wait. Oh, all of a sudden you're quick now. All right, all of a sudden we got it now, Carl. All right, you're going to look them in the eye. You're going to get ready for a high five. Wait for it, and you're going to say, "You are a master of rapport," and I find that quite sexy. Go ahead. Let's go, fellas. Over here. Let's go. All right. All right. Now, you didn't see what I just saw. Some of you are like, I'm not doing that. And some of you are like, I want another one of these. Right? Now, if you didn't like that last exercise, lesson number 1, pick better neighbors. All right? I didn't ask you to sit where you sat. All right, let's get into it. Now, why is this important? Right? Why do we care that we have rapport? Why do we care that we have influence? Well, first off, we need rapport because we need to build a relationship. I'm gonna ask you a couple questions in a moment. But we need to build a relationship with other people. And there are only 3 styles out there. You're one of them. There are 2 others. And for our purposes, you are basically wired like 1/3 of the population when it comes to your communication style. You don't have to do any work. You connect with them very easily. Wow, that person is really cool. I get on very easily with them. It's the other 2/3 that we have to work on. So you have to know your style so you can understand others' styles so you can adapt. And that's what today's about. It's about situational communication, situational leadership. All right? So now let's get started. Let's establish some language. Rapport. We need to become a master of rapport. So if I ask you, what is a working definition of rapport? What would your answer be? What would you say is a working definition of rapport? When I say rapport, what do you think I mean? Or what's the definition of it? And just yell it out.
Getting along well with others.
Getting along well with others.
Relationship.
Relationship. What kind of relationship? What kind?
Sex.
Did you all hear that?
He's on the 12.
Yeah. I'm not going to repeat it. He just said a really good one. A really good relationship. Well done. Well done. What else? What else? How else would you define rapport? Trust. Reputation. Reliability. All are elements of it. Rapport is the relationship of sameness, likeness, commonality. Sameness, likeness, commonality. All right, what's the best football team? What's the best college football team in this room?
Roll Tide. Roll Tide.
You want to see how quickly we can get out of rapport in this room? Let's talk college football, right? Right? So, what we want. Think about it. When you go to an event of any sort, an event like this, networking event, family event, and you meet somebody for the first time, what is it you look for? Things in common, right? Because once we have something in common, we can then like each other. Now, not like each other in the way you're thinking, meaning we are like each other on some level. That is the basis on which we will allow somebody else to be in a relationship with us, or we influence them or they influence us. Okay? And it is how we're wired. Like you didn't wake up today and say, I did rapport yesterday. I'm not going to do it today. That was exhausting. You have to have it every day because it's how we feel safe. Right? So now, this is good news for some of you because you're just like, oh, I don't know if I'm the most likable person. I'll leave you to that to decide. But if you create commonality, the other person cannot help but like you. This might be the best thing you learn in this whole conference. All right? If we can find sameness, likeness, commonality, the person is open to whatever you want to talk about. If you cannot find sameness, likeness, commonality, you're not even in the game. Okay? So we have to have sameness, likeness, commonality. I'm going to show you, we're going to practice that. And that's why I said, we'll test it out and you'll see for yourself. Okay? So now that we have sameness, we have rapport, now that we have rapport, we can now influence somebody to our point of view. Right? Remember, there's 3 styles. Right? So think about it. When you walk around every day in your work and you say, you know, that department, I don't know how they hired those people. They don't deserve to have jobs. How do they make it through the day? Ever have one of those moments? Right, because those people aren't wired like whom? Like you. They're fine. They weren't put on this earth simply to annoy you. They have a purpose. And guess what? They're thinking the same thing of you. Like, I don't know how he or she makes it through the day. I have to help them find their keys. I have to let them in. They forget their security pass all the time. Like, how are we relying our future on that person? Right? And yet, they get a lot done. Right? There are just different styles. We just have to find the style. Right? And like I said, very easy. I'm going to show you how we do it. So, all right, now, in order to have influence, we need 2 things going at the same time at a high level, and they are trust and respect. Okay, so trust we define as having common goals or interests. Okay, so there you are, you're talking to another person whose goals or interests matter, yours or theirs. Who thinks it's yours? Like it's really important that everyone knows what I like to do so they could talk about it when I want to talk about it. Or theirs. Not a trick question, guys. Go ahead. This is the audience participation part of the presentation. I'm going to ask a question and you'll raise your hand for one or the other. There's not a third option. Okay? So if it wasn't yours, then it's definitely theirs. All right, so let's try again. Okay? So whose goals and interests matter? Yours or theirs? Theirs, right on. It wins. Okay. All right, cool. So now, in order to do that, we have to master one word. All right? You have to get used to this word. You have to use this word a lot. And in communication, as much as it hurts, as painful as it is, you have to master this word. And in communication, you have to use this word first. And here's the word. The word is yes. Okay? So, what's the word? Yes. Okay, try it. Everyone this time, what's the word? Yes. Okay, so we're going to try it out. Hey, do you golf? Some of you were like, I don't know if it's called golf. Like I went to the minute. All right, we're going to try it again. Ready? We'll review the training. I'm going to ask you a question. You have only one answer. Okay? Here it comes. Do you golf? Yes. Some of you we're not there yet. Okay. Now you're saying, well, I don't golf. I don't want to say I'm golf. I'm not going to lie to somebody. Have any of you ever seen a golf ball? Have you ever gone miniature golfing? Yes. Have you ever watched golf on TV? Yes. You know who Tiger Woods is? Yes. So you have a reference for golf. If somebody asks you, do you golf? Do they actually care if you golf? No. What is it they want to talk about? Golf. And what do you think they were about to tell you after you say yes? Some story that you don't want to hear about their golf weekend. Right? Okay, I get it. You don't want to listen to it. But if you say no, they cannot find something in with you. So your answer is yes. Every time. As long as you have a reference for it. I'm not suggesting you lie to somebody. You ever been to Hawaii? Yes. Oh, I tricked you. Let's try it again. Let's review the training. It's coming on 3. You ever been to Hawaii? No. Right? In my dreams, I have been. On the internet, I have been. Seen a lot of great photos of Hawaii. I wish to get there someday. It's yes or some version of yes. Because if I say you ever been to Hawaii and you say no, I'm like, ugh. I was hoping to do the whole Hawaii conversation. I can't do the Hawaii conversation right now because you just said no. Now I've got to guess, all right, where has she been? Okay. Ever been to New Jersey? You have been. Okay, well, I don't want to talk about New Jersey. New Jersey's boring. I live there all the time. So you see what I mean? Like, if you've ever been to an event and you can't find something in common, it's painful. You meet somebody. Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. Yeah, I'm Carl. How you doing? Oh, good to meet you. Oh, yeah. It's your first time at this? Yeah, great, cool. So, you into sports? Nah, not much of a sports person. Oh, yeah, okay. So, what are some of your hobbies? You know, I don't have a lot of hobbies. I'm just more of a stay-at-home kind of person. Now, that's just 2 sentences. How hard was that to watch? And we've all been there. Okay? So we have to remove the barriers, have the common goals, master the word yes. Okay? Now here's the second one. The second one is not as important, but it is very important, especially in a commercial setting. Respect. Can you handle the task at hand? Right? So whatever your title is, can you handle the job that you say you can do? And here's why that's important. Because if I don't respect you, I won't bother telling you the truth. I won't bother bringing things to you because you can't handle it. Why would I bring a problem to you if you can't handle it? Okay? So in our advisory company, one of the questions that we ask we ask this of our clients, and we'll say, does everybody in the company hold the credential for the job that they perform? You know what the majority of the answer is for most people in most companies? No. So if you are the bookkeeper, you use QuickBooks Online or some other NetSuite or some other financial software. Have you taken all the certifications that software offers? The answer is probably not. If you're a project manager, have you taken all the project management courses that align with your level in the company? Probably not. So just something to think about. Think about your position, what you do, whatever credential, whatever continuing education credits, whatever training or certification that goes along, not just goes along with your job description, but makes you best in class, you may want to consider taking it. Because I suspect if I did a survey of all the organizations that you're in, the majority of you would not carry the credential, all the credentials you need to be considered best in class. Okay? It's not a knock. It's you get a new job. There's a whole bunch of stuff that have to go into it, and it might just be a question of ramping that up. But you may want to look into that. And if you run a team, look at your team and say, okay, team, do they really carry the credential? You're going to find the answer is no in most cases. Here's why it matters. When it comes to trust and respect, trust is a back-to-back exercise. In other words, we have common goals and interests. We establish that, okay? Then, when I turn my back and I go into another room, do I trust you'll keep your commitments? Do I trust you're going to do what you said? When we're standing face to face, you made a commitment. Now I turn my back and I go, you turn your back, you go. Are you going to follow through? Can I trust that you're going to do that? Respect is, when we're face to face, do I think you are even a substantive enough person? Do you carry the credential? Can you do the job? Do I even want to bother talking to you? Right? So if somebody can't look at you and respect you, and somebody can't be in the same room with you and trust you, it's going to be hard for you to influence them. Does that make sense? Everybody okay with the concept so far? Okay, first homework assignment is check the level of credential that makes you best in class. If there's any continuing education, most of it's free, by the way, but I'm sure vendors and other product manufacturers offer that as well. Here is the good news. And I've got good news for you, and I've got better news for you. Which would you like first? You want the better news? All right, I'll give you the better news. The better news is you can communicate trust and respect through your body language, right? And this is a universal communication strategy, and we will practice that. So there are 3 elements that influence another person to your point of view. One of them is words, right? One of them is your voice qualities, and the other is your physiology, meaning how you stand and how you move. So words of the 3, all 3 make up 100%. Words, would you guess, make up what percentage of what influences another person to your point of view? 30? 7? Any other guesses? 15? 16? I like it. He goes to auctions. I'm going 16. You go 15, I'm going 16. All right, add them all up, okay? And it's 7%. See, that's how she knew that. She didn't go to Hawaii. She was studying in New Jersey. Right? 7%. Now, this is really good. Why? Because you don't have to get every single word right. Because it's only 7% of what drives communication anyway. Now, you do need to get it. This is where respect is built, by the way. Trust is built through your voice qualities and your physiology. Respect is kind of like the lead dog in a way. All right? I'll come back to that. Voice qualities, how you say what you say, 38%. Okay? And physiology, what would you say, is how much? Take a guess. Wild guess. Just throw it out there. 55. He's good. 55. Let's see. Oh, he's right every time. I knew it. That's why he sits in the front. All right? So 93% of what influences another person to your point of view or not is your body language. Right? So it's a great place to start. All right? While we work on the words and we work on the credentials, we want to also have the body language that matches. Okay? So here's why this matters. So, do you all know what this is?
Yes.
Okay, let's review the training. I tried to trick you again. Okay, you were thinking about the whole body language thing. I'm going to try it again. Ready? It's coming on 3. You guys know what this is? Yes. Right. It is the Trans-Alaskan dog sled race called the Iditarod. Okay? Now, in the Iditarod, I did a little research on this. There are 12 to 16 dogs on any sled, and there are 2 types of dogs. There are the lead dog or dogs, and there are the musher dogs. Now, typically the lead dogs are just the ones in the front, as you can imagine, and then the musher dogs are the ones that are behind. Now, the musher dogs, candidly, do most of the work. The lead dogs do not do most of the work. However, they are very important. If you don't have a good lead dog, you might not finish the race, and you can forget winning. The lead dog knows when to slow down, when to speed up, when to stop and take a drink, when to rest the pack, okay? When to run over ice, when to walk over ice, what snow is compatible for what speed. Without a good lead dog, you don't have a chance. The lead dog are kind of like the words. That 7%, that directs the conversation. If you don't know what to ask, if you don't know what to say, that's where the conversation or the interaction can go sideways. So, if you are not the lead dog, the scenery never changes. Have you heard that before? If you're not the lead dog, the scenery never changes. Some of you are still a little wondering, working that one out. Okay, so imagine you're the musher dog. You're not the lead dog. What are you looking at the whole time? You got it now? We worked it out? Okay. So the lead dog in your language means you need to this is where knowledge, credentials comes into play. You need to be the smartest person in whatever room you walk in. Or if you're on a project and you're doing a build out or you're doing a budget, you want to be among, if not the smartest person in that room. because you can then direct the room, because people follow certainty. They follow leaders, okay? So you want to be the lead dog. So most people say, oh, great, I don't have to worry about that 7%. I'll just focus on the body language. We need it because it's the lead dog. The body language will do most of the work, but we do need the words as the lead dog. Everybody okay with that? Good? Anyone not? All right. Now, I mentioned this before. In order for somebody to like you, they have to feel on some level they are like you. Now, that only gets you rapport. You'll make a business friend, but when you get into your business, you have to sell people on your ideas. You have to move projects along. You have to get people to change behavior. You have to get them to take on things that they may not want to. So on some level, they have to admire you. Take a second and write down 3 things. 3 things. What are 3 things my team could or should or could admire about me or do admire about me? 3 things. What are 3 things? You have a pen and notepad. Please take down what are 3 qualities, what are 3 certifications, what are 3 levels of experience or achievement or expertise that is admirable about you. Why should they care? Why should they admire you? Because without it, you can't influence them. All right? Three. And I'm going to pick on those that are not writing, so just warning you now. No, Carl, I'm thinking of them. I got them right there. That's good, because I'm going to ask you in 30 seconds what they are, unless you're writing. Okay? Here's why while you're finishing up your answers, here's why it's important. Why should somebody spend their time around you if their life's not going to get better? They're not hanging around with you to keep their life the same, right? Have you ever heard the expression that people join organizations, but they quit their manager or their team lead? You may not have hired the people on your team. You may have been given that team like, this is my team. All right, this is who I've got to live with. All right. But if they quit, they're going to quit you. They're not quitting the organization. They're not leaving the township. They're leaving you. Right? So what about you is admirable? So they want to stay on your team. So they want to work harder for you. So they want to run through a brick wall for you. Okay? All right, so a couple of examples. Just yell them out. What is one thing that's admirable about you? What's one thing you bring to the party? One thing you bring to the table? Reliable. Experience. Creative thinking. Congeniality. I saw his list. He said good looking too. It's right there. He put it as number 1, big stars on it. Yeah? What else? Pardon me? Knowledge. Great. Awesome. Is there a specific skill set that you bring to the table too? So go through the list. Today I asked you to write down 3 things. But go through your list. If you're looking for a personal development or professional development program for yourself, say to yourself, okay, what are all the things that either are admirable about me that you could aspire to become, and what are some of the things I want to aspire to? What are some of the things I want to get better at? Okay? So over the years in our coaching business, we've coached about 150,000 people now. And we ask everybody, how did you ever get started in your business, if they're a business owner? Or how did you choose this career path if you work for an organization? The number 1 answer that we get as the reason why somebody went and chose a career path is someone else believed in me. Someone else said, hey, you're really good at this, or I went into accounting and finance. This is how the meeting went. Senior year in high school, my guidance counselor said to me, Carl, your math scores are really high. You should become an accountant. And I was like, well, that sounds cool. I should do that. So I went to school for accounting and finance, And I had no clue what it was. But I did it because my career counselor said to me, well, you have a proficiency in that area. Your scores are really high. You should go into that field. So I did. I had no clue what accounting and finance meant until I got to college. Right? But it's the most common answer we have is somebody believed in me. Right? So think about it. So somebody who I admired said to me, you may want to try that. So I did. Right? Many of you might have similar stories, or you might have people on your team that come to you for guidance now and again. One, that's a good sign that they already admire you on some level, and they're taking what you say seriously, right? But so think about it from that standpoint. You can lead somebody to the you could lead somebody to the extent, and you can serve somebody to the extent that you can build admiration. Right? If they don't trust you and respect you a lot, they're not going to take you as seriously. Does that make sense? Right? So when I learned this, I thought, wow, that's a really cool thing. I didn't know I was having that impact on other people, whether it be in my family, and when I learned this was before I was married, before I had kids, and I realize now, this works at home with your kids as well, right? My kids have been making fun of me my entire life, but now that they're all in their 20s, I start hearing them saying things that I said to them years ago. They were listening. They just didn't let on, right? Can you relate? Right? Yeah. So I don't know that they admire me yet, but I'm still working on it, So take that on as an area of improvement. Okay. All right. Now, we become the people we surround ourselves with the most. And here's what I mean, okay? I didn't want to scare you with that photo. We, as people, the way we're wired, we're kind of like that projector right there. Whatever we put on the inside of that projector shows up on the screen. We define ourselves a certain way, okay? We define ourselves a certain way, and based on that definition, we create a world around us that matches how we define ourselves, okay? And how you do anything is how you do everything, okay? So once I can understand a little bit about your style, I can predict a lot about your life. If I can predict a lot about your life, I can find a lot of things in common. If I can find a lot of things in common, I know how I can communicate with you, build rapport, and ultimately how to have impact in your life. Okay? Does that thesis sound reasonable? Okay? Let's test it out. So imagine for a moment I said I define myself as a truck guy. I'm a truck guy. Okay? What kind of vehicle do you think I likely drive? Well done. Some of you are still trying to work that out. Don't overthink this one. Right? This one is that obvious. All right? What kind of money do I make? You're thinking of a number. Go to the word. I make what kind of money? All right. Let's go back. I am a truck guy. I drive I make money. What kind of spouse did I marry? You could say it. Truck spouse. I live in what kind of neighborhood? Truck kind of neighborhood. What do I do on the weekends? Truck kind of stuff, and you had your own description for it. Okay, good. Very good. Now, imagine I say I'm a Porsche guy. What kind of vehicle do I drive? What kind of money do I make? Porsche money. More or less than the truck guy? Okay. What kind of spouse did I marry? High maintenance. Trophy. Okay. All right. All right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I have what kind of spouse? I live in what kind of neighborhood? Same neighborhood as the truck guy? No chance. On the weekends, I do what stuff? I do Porsche kind of stuff. Am I doing the same things that the truck guy's doing on the weekend? Right? So now some of you are all kinds of confused because you're like, wait a minute, I got a truck and a Porsche. What am I? Right? Okay, so how we do anything is how we do everything. If I'm a Porsche guy, if I'm a truck guy, I'm going to do those sorts of things. I'm a Jeep guy, by the way. 6-speed manual. Right? That should tell you everything you need to know about my life. Right? So I'm a Jeep guy. Right? So I have a Jeep. I live in a Jeep. So how we do anything is how we do everything. So once you get to know somebody on some level, finding those things in common, that tends to be how they go about their work, how they go about their play, what some of their values are, what pace and speed they'll work out, how much risk will they take, will they speak up in a meeting or not speak up in a meeting, will they lead from the front, the middle, or the back, right? Not good or bad, they're just different, right? So we want to know, we want to try to find out who these people are. In other words, that is definitely her dog. Right? We tend to build a world around us that is like us. Right? That's why you all, did you all kind of sit together? You're all in the same either company or from the same municipality or group or, right? Or did you mix it up? No, you sat next to who you know. Everyone does. Right? Like, hey, where you sit, like, you not only sat next to each other, you planned it out last night at the bar. All right, what time you coming in? Where you going to be? I'll look for you. Save me a seat. Like you had the whole thing worked out, right? You weren't leaving anything to chance. Birds of a feather. Okay, so that's the way it works. Okay, all right. Now, you can start to do this intentionally. You can, if you're going to a meeting and you know that you're going to meet a suit guy, you show up wearing what? A suit. If you're going to meet casual guy or gal, you show up wearing what? Casual wear. Right? Okay? So if you ever get the opportunity to do this, you don't have to be a technology nerd or anything like that, but there is this amazing interview of Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. It's the last interview they did together. It's 2007, I think. And they were asked, or during this frame, I captured this frame. This is right before they were asked, what do you admire about the other person? All right, so just go on YouTube and just put Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and it's a long interview, but it is fascinating. Right? The whole world thought of them as rivals. They didn't like each other. They were at each other's throats. Not till you watch that, you didn't. Right? The biggest client Microsoft has is Apple. You know who the biggest client Apple has? Microsoft. They are the biggest customer for each other. They have been in cooperation the whole time. Whatever we thought on the outside, there's something totally different going on behind the scenes. But it was really interesting. They have so much in common. It's ridiculous. Right? Now, on the outside, you would say, well, Steve Jobs, he's got this certain kind of personality, this and that. You would say, Bill Gates, no personality. How did these two ever get along? But they did. Right? They had a lot in common. So it's very interesting. Okay? You want to find commonality in people? When you go to dinner, just watch two people eat. Or watch a group eat. They eat at the same time. They wipe their mouth at the same time. They drink water or drink their beverage at the same time. You know, they lean in at the same time. They sit back at the same time. Okay? So what we want to do is we want to understand someone else's style so we can adapt to that style. Okay? All right, cool. So now we're going to do, okay, hold on. We're going to play a game in a minute. Okay, I thought this was going to come in pieces. So let me do it this way. Now, if you want to replicate my art, just do your best. I've been doing this for years. Don't feel odd if you can't do it. I'm a trained professional. Take your time. Got it? Okay. All right, so there's 3 rapport zones or communication zones in your body. They're higher, middle, lower. That's it, right? Think collarbone, think waist, right? So higher, middle, lower. And that's how people will communicate. So I'll demonstrate, and then we're going to do it together. So higher is from your shoulders upward, right? So if somebody is what we would call a visual person, They are higher, faster, louder communicator. The reason why when you see their gestures, their hands are above their shoulders, and they talk like this, and they're like, hey, come on up front. They don't say, come to the front. Hey, come on. No. Right? They're making all these gestures way up here. And you're 50 feet away saying, oh my God, do I really want to approach that person? Right? And they're like, no, it is me. And they're like, I know. That's why I'm hesitating. And so they do everything up here because they're visual, which means they're making pictures. And pictures are worth 1,000 what? So that's why they go so damn fast. So they think you need to hear every single word that comes into their brain. They have no filter. They need to get it out. So now you might say, oh my gosh, I got to deal with these people? Yes, you do, because in most cases, they're your manager. Right? This is typically management level, director level. Not always. Now remember, we're a combination of all three, so even if you say, wait, I'm a director level, I'm not that, there's a part of you that is, right? This is just, we're born with one that tends to be the strongest of the three. So they tend to be way up here, and they use words that describe pictures. So they'll send you an email and say, see you later. And you're thinking, no, you won't. You're in another office, and this is an email, right? But they're like, no, I'll see you. Or imagine this, picture that. And they use words that describe pictures because that's what they see. They're like a walking PowerPoint that's going by the whole time, right? That's the first zone. And we all have this zone. We all have a visual side to us. How do you know? Just close your eyes. Close your eyes. Make a picture of anybody in your family. You see him? You can visualize, right? Go ahead and open your eyes. So if you say, I don't visualize a lot. We all have the capacity, right? You just might do it so well or so easily you don't think of it. You don't have to think about it. It just happens. But we all have that capacity, okay? Second zone is the middle zone. This is where it's called auditory, and it's where we make sounds. We hear sounds, we make sounds, and quite frankly, up until this moment, many of you were visual or kinesthetic because you're sitting down. Now that I just said auditory, you hear the air conditioner for the first time. You're like, damn, that thing's loud. Like, they should get that fixed, right? So we could turn on and off our auditory and our visual. We're like a stereo where the bars go up and down and we're always moving like an equalizer on a stereo, right? So you can be very, very auditory, okay? You can be very, very visual, okay? So auditory is middle, medium, moderate, right? So in other words, I don't get too high and I don't get too low. So it's from the belt to kind of like the collarbone, right? Most of our actions will be there. As a matter of fact, this aligns with the largest part of the population. So I'll do this just for a demo, okay? So if we're teaching somebody to give a speech or they're running for office or they need votes, we tell them to put their hands here. And they go like, you ever notice that? Okay? So if I need the majority of the population, I got to learn how to do this. Because it speaks to the auditory people in the room. And you know how I know this is working? Because when somebody is in alignment with you, somebody is trusting and respecting you, somebody is willing to have a conversation with you, they will either move closer to you, they will stand up more upright, and they will nod and smile. So when I go like this, the auditory people in the room, you know who you are, I can see you, you're nodding. As soon as I do it, you start nodding. Because it's involuntary. That guy's been yelling this whole time. Now he's finally speaking to us. For some people, that just started, like the session just started for me, right? Okay? And then now, so that's the second zone. We don't get too high, we don't get too low. This is operations in an organization. So CEO, director, COO, VP of Ops, project management. Right? These two have to learn this person's making pictures. You're doing process, You know, you like things in a logical progression. You like your steps. You like your systems, your processes, your SOPs. You know, our process maps, all of our narratives, right? Our policies and procedure manual. This is that person. Like, yeah, we do things a certain way every time, right? With this person, you can throw away your watch because whatever they're doing tells you the time of day, day of the week. Oh, it must be Wednesday at 9. They're walking out to the mailbox. Oh, it must be Tuesday at 2. They always get Chinese Tuesday at 2 because that's when the place opens and it's not open during lunchtime, so they always go at 2 o'clock. You could set your watch by them, okay? Then there's the lower one, what we call kinesthetic. Kinesthetic is the needs of your body. It's from the waist down. It's the needs of your body. It's the temperature, it's weight and texture. It's feelings, experiences, and emotions. All of that goes in this part of your body, okay? Now, when you are practicing this, it's the hardest thing to master because you have to plant your feet and commit to whatever you're about to say. And the first thing that happens when in somebody's body language, when they don't believe in what they're saying or they're not fully committed, is they start to sway side to side or move backwards. Okay? If I don't believe in it, like, hey guys, this is a really important project. And we have to stay on our game for this. No, we got a chance to win. See what I mean? Let's test it out. So, put this in your notes. Write it exactly the way I'm about to say it. Get ready, all right? When you are with your team, when you are in a boardroom, when you are making a presentation, when you are speaking to a group, here we go. You never, ever walk backwards while speaking. I'll do that again. You lost me on the second never. You never, ever walk backwards while speaking. Okay? I'll prove it to you. I'll demonstrate, I should say. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm going to give you 2 scenarios, and with each scenario, I'm going to say the same words. All I'm going to do is change my body posture, okay? You ready? Here we go. You tell me who you like better, the forward guy or the backward guy. Here we go, okay? This is a really important project. I think we can meet the budget. We could definitely do it on time. Got that? This is a really important project. I think we could do it on budget. We'll definitely do it on time. Who did you trust or believe more? The forward guy or the backward guy? Forward guy. Why the forward guy? Why is that? He seemed confident. Believed in what he said. Right? Who's more committed, the forward guy or the backward guy? If times get tough, who could you trust more, the forward guy or the backward guy? Forward guy. What don't you like about the backward guy? What's that? He's running. He can't even get the words out yet, and he's running already from what he's saying. Now, just your body language your body cannot lie. Your body language can't lie. We can say lies through our mouth, but our body can't. Right? Whatever we believe comes through our body language. So we're going to practice. You plant your feet, say what you're going to say, and you always have forward direction. So if you have to, like I got all the way here, and now I'm like, ooh, I got to get back there. So either what I would do is, and then start talking again, or better to give you my back and be walking forward than to be walking backwards while talking. Does that make sense? Yeah. If you're in this room, you're in a position of leadership and you're giving off the wrong signal. It could just be a bad habit. You're like, no, wait a minute, I'm not lying. That's just how I walk or how I stand. That could be true. You're sending a signal that you don't believe in what you're saying, or you're not committed, or you know it's not going to happen. Right? And in today's world, people follow certainty, right? So they follow leaders, and leaders say what they're going to do, and they do it. You might not like it, but they say what they're going to do, and then they do it. And that's how we elect like every president we have. I've looked at the presidential elections going back to 1960, right? and I rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. How visual are they? How auditory are they? How kinesthetic are they? And those with the highest score win every time. Like if you have 2 out of the 3, you're going to lose. If you have 1 out of the 3, you're definitely going to lose. But the person who has the highest score in each of the 3 wins every time. Right? Regardless of politics, like, oh my God, there's no way. I'm telling you, high visual, high auditory, high kinesthetic, they win every time. Because that's what we trust and respect, and that's what we as people admire. So now think about that when you're in a leadership position. If you have a vision for where this project is going, or where the team is going, or the capability of your team, and you have a system, and you can articulate that system or process, and then kinesthetic, you have the details, the analytics. Here's why I think this, guys. Here's the research. Right? If you have those 3 things at a high level and you're committed, people will say, you know what? It might not be perfect, but that's a good enough plan for me. Does that make sense? Really important. Because as soon as if I ask you a question, like when I said, and you don't have to say yes on this one. If I say, do you golf? Those of you that didn't have an answer, the first, you sat back, or you went like, well. That's why I said, get used to just going, yes, and like literally leaning in and saying yes. Because you have a reference for it. You're not lying. You're just giving them permission to talk about the thing they want to talk about. That's all we're doing. Does that make sense? Everybody okay with that? Any questions? Okay? Oops. Sorry. We're going to give you the recording of everything. So thank you for the intrusion of the cameras. Okay, cool. I'm glad everyone's okay with it because we're going to practice. Okay, so there are 3. We're going to do these 3 rounds. So if you would all stand up, please. Okay, and you could put your chair in front of you. You're going to be moving around, so you don't want the chairs in the way. Yeah, you could just stand behind your chair. All right. So we are going to play a game called the meet and greet game. Okay? So the meet and greet game. And what we're going to do is we're going to focus on 3 of the 5 senses that we've been talking about. Visual, auditory, kinesthetic. All right? We're not going to do olfactory and gustatory. We're going to go on the premise that if you are smelling and tasting your colleagues, you probably have good rapport already. All right. Let's go with the visual, auditory, kinesthetic. They are observable behavior. I can see somebody who's visual. I can observe somebody who's auditory. I can observe somebody who's kinesthetic. All right, so we're going to do 3 rounds, and you're going to be in your pure visual first, then your pure auditory second, then your pure kinesthetic third, and then you'll know which one is the most comfortable. That's the way you're naturally wired. One that is, I'm okay with that one, which means you've had some training in that area or you have to adapt that way at work. And then one that's a stretch, like, that one wasn't for me. But you can at least experience the 3, okay? So the first one we're going to do is visual. All right, now, visual has, when you meet and greet somebody, you're going to use words that describe pictures. Imagine this, you are a vision. Hey, good to see you. I've got my eye on you. You know, when I visualize this conference, I always saw you there. Look at you. You know, look at this room on display. Any word that describes a picture. Okay. Now we have to do it we have to practice it before we do it. So, visual. What does visual look like in this room? Come with me. Come on with me. Hands above the shoulders. Yeah, all right. All right, there we go. Okay, good. All right, okay, stay up here. If your arms are getting tired, that's because you vacation here, you don't live here. All right? So visuals have their hands in the air. They're smiling. They have intensity on their face. It's either intensity like passionate or a smile, right? Or a smile. You pick which one. In the beginning, a smile is usually the easier way to go. You don't need to get intense in the beginning. And so what you're going to do is you're going to go around and meet and greet at least 3 people. At least 3 people. Thank you. In your pure visual zone. Now, I didn't say this is the handshake game, although it may turn into that. It's not the high five game, but it could turn into that. What is a visual greeting? What would that look like? Right? A visual person, when they go to shake your hand, you know that person that in your life that goes like this? Like they don't go like that. They go like that. Right? Shake their hand up here. Okay? So maybe it's a fist bump. Maybe it's a, okay? And you move on to the next person. So you're going to meet and greet as many people as possible in your pure visual zone in a moment. And let me give you a pro tip. Keep your hands up. Because in this zone, your body automatically makes pictures. If you go down here, then you're going to be like, nice to talk to you. Wrong round. Up here is like, hey, great to see you. You see what I mean? On 3, ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Meet and greet as many people. I'll come out for a high five. All right. There you go.
I love that.
Great to see you.
Great seeing you.
There you go. Right on. Okay. All right. Okay. Well done. So for some of you, you're like, oh my gosh, finally. Finally did something. I don't know what all that chatter was for the last 45 minutes. All right? Okay. Now the second zone. The second zone. And the second zone is from here to here. So what does auditory look like in this room? Go like this. Do as I do. All right? Collarbone to the belt. So everything is in this zone. All right? I win the lottery, I lose everything. I have a poker face. I don't get too high, I don't get too low. My voice qualities are middle, medium, moderate. Okay? I don't have to scream. We can hear each other fine. And we use words that describe sounds. Okay? Now, I noticed something in some of your handshakes a moment ago, and I want to give you a quick distinction. May I ask for a volunteer? We're just going to shake hands on the stage so everyone can see it, but I have to demonstrate something. Can I have a quick volunteer? Someone come up? Way to go. Let's give Ben a hand. Ben has been voluntold to be up here. 100%. Okay, great. Well, thank you, Ben. So, some of you, I noticed you're two-hand shakers. Like you shake and then the other hand comes in. So let me just show you this. Is it okay if I touch your shoulder?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So first off, when it's auditory, we're not out here. Pretend your elbows are stapled to your side. So like Ben's still a little visual, so go in a little bit. So we'll be a little closer, right? Now, if I'm a two-hand handshaker, watch. This is visual, this is auditory, this is kinesthetic. So in this round, if that's your style, so you meet and greet, nice to chat with you. Right? See, he's still visual. Did you notice he touched my shoulder?
Yeah.
Right, he's still in his visual mode. Come down with me.
All right.
All right? Okay, we got it?
Yep.
All right. Nice to chat with you.
You too.
See? Okay, cool. Let's give him a hand. Great job, Ben. Okay. So it makes a difference, okay? Cool. So we use words that describe sounds. So let's go meet and greet at least 3 people in your auditory, pure auditory modality on 3. 1, 2, 3, go. All right. You're not running for office. Come on back now. You're just saying hi. You're just saying hello. All right. It's just a meet and greet game, not the let's choose where we're going to dinner game. All right. Cool. Good job. Now, notice I didn't say have a longer conversation. Notice I didn't say lower the volume. Notice I didn't say, you have to stand as close or stay with that person longer. You did it naturally. We all have each of these modalities. You already know how to do visual. It might not be comfortable for you. You already know how to do auditory. It might not be comfortable for you, but we all know how to do it, right? This is just being intentional about it, okay? All right, okay, so now let's do our last one. This one's the hardest one to master, okay? Are you ready? Some of you are not ready. Are you ready? Yes. Okay, here we go. Follow me. Plant your feet. Hands below the waist. Hands below the waist. Okay? This shows that you're committed. Okay? This shows that whatever I say, I stand for. Right? This says if we're going to do our best, we're doing our best. And this is the standard you are going to hold. Okay? That's the signal it sends. Kinesthetic is all about feelings, emotions, experiences, memories, and needs of the body. Right? So now that I say that, you might be saying, he's right. It is hot in here. Like I didn't really, the upholstery on this chair is rough. I wouldn't use these chairs again. Right? Now all of it, you're not in your visual. You're in your kinesthetic now. Now all of a sudden you notice these things. Yeah, these pants have a little bit too much starch in them. Like I'm just noticing it now. Because now you've switched on needs of the body. Okay, so you might notice things now that you didn't before. So when it comes to, we're going to meet and greet in our pure kinesthetic modality. Now, little trick here. So kinesthetics, first off, thank you for letting your colleagues slobber all over you all the way up to today and including this morning by insisting on shaking your hands, giving you that disgustingly dirty business card, and waiting until you put it in your pocket. I get it. Kinesthetic people, by and large, don't like to be touched. And you visual and auditories have been like, all over them. So kinesthetics, you don't have to say a word because I know you're very polite and you're very diplomatic. Just blink once at me if you're okay to let them shake your hands one more time. Kinesthetics? Thank you, kinesthetics. Okay, good. All right. So most kinesthetic people don't like to be touched. So here's how you approach a kinesthetic person. Your hand is low, palm up, right here, walk towards them. If they extend their hand, shake their hand. If they don't get offended. Just put your hand down and say good morning or good afternoon or good evening. Okay? Now, kinesthetics, please shake their hand today. If you don't shake their hand, they're not going to know what to do with themselves. Right? They'll ruin the whole rest of the conference for them. We can sanitize later. All right? Okay. All right. So they know where those hands have been. They've done the research. Okay. So hand out, palm out, walk. Small steps, not big steps. Big steps are risky. Small steps are less risky. Small steps, hand out, and if you're a two-hand handshaker, you're touching the wrist, not the shoulder, not the elbow, the wrist, okay? And you're using words about an experience, about that's very big of you. I'm glad we have a chance to come together, right? You're talking about experience, feelings, needs of the body, right? And these are the words. I had a gut reaction we were going to have to do some silly exercise this morning, right? That sort of thing. You know what? I want to make sure we touch base later so we can talk more about that project, or we can come together on that project, okay? So on 3, meet as many people as you can, at least 3 in your pure kinesthetic zone. 1, 2, 3, go.